dating now. I'm talking about knocking the boots. I'm talking about somebody miss somebody. You know, like that moment you don't, like, once you miss somebody, it was going down. And you can hear it all the way in the living room. So I'm like, I'm trying to tune it out, but I know she can hear it, and she probably getting blown because they was just in, like, y'all was just doing that same scene, kind of in a sense, but she loud. She loud over there, you know what I'm saying? Like, you hear the walk, it's going down, basement. So I'm like, I'm here with mine. I am here with mine. I'm trying to watch TV. I hear them, but I'm trying to just be focused. So I'm not looking at her. I'm looking here. So I can feel like her, like, bouncing a leg and like, oh, you know what, mumbling. So I'm like, I'm just giving her peripheral vision. That's all I'm giving up. I'm not turning my head like that, none whatsoever. So out of nowhere, she like, I'm about to go. So I'm like, huh? She like, I'm about to go. I'm like, go where? She like, I'm just gonna leave. If Lala look for me, just tell her I'm gone. Now I understand. I would possibly leave too. I would have been left. I wouldn't even agree to even stick around at all. I wouldn't have agreed to stick around at all. I would have been dipped. I would have been gone. I know you don't want to hear nobody breaking your girl back in. I would be gone too. So she like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave. So I'm like, all right. She like, just tell Lala I'm gone. I'm like, you don't want to tell her yourself? She like, nah, I ain't gonna interrupt them. So boom, she goes to the bathroom. She comes back and she walks out. But as I glanced at her, I noticed that it was just herself walking out. So I'm like, wait a minute. Did she come with a bag? Like, shorty had luggage. I remember her clear as day walking in with luggage, like a big bag, like a healthy bag. So I was just like, all right, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there, I'm still watching TV. Boom. I start to doze off. They cried. Shorty. Huh? Yeah. Where's she at? Oh. She said she gone. She gone. Gone where? I'm like, she didn't tell me. She like, gone where? What can she possibly go? I'm like, I don't know, probably home. She like, shorty, she don't live here. She came here to visit. She took a whole plane. I'm like, it dawned on me then. I'm like, yeah. She like, all her stuff still here. I put it in the closet. She like, oh my God. So I'm looking, she like, she couldn't have went that far. I'm like, yeah, she'll come back. She like, nah, you don't know her. She like, you don't know how Mexicans is. So I was in my mind like, at the time, like, what that's supposed to mean? Like, they got nothing to do with nothing. She heard her so-called boo or her side piece or her road house getting road housed. You feel me? So she was probably feeling a way that, like, it ain't got nothing to do with who you're dating. So boom, she ended up going in the room and kicking dude out. Now, mind you, this dude, he done came and dropped a couple of stacks on her. He done dropped perfume. When he left her good. So he was always taking care of her real good. He was never coming with chump change. This man was up. I got to give it to him. Had all type of cars and trucks. This man was the boss. And I knew Lala wasn't letting him go. Lala wasn't letting him go. She a Leo. You know, Leos, they like a powerful person. They like somebody that's in real control like that. You know what I'm saying? Not in control of everything, but in control of having that type of power. They like that. So I just knew Lala wasn't giving that up. But I knew she liked the girl. But so for her to kick the dude out, she kicked him out smooth. And he was like, hey, I'm gone. He like, hey, enjoy that ring. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, thank you. He dips. So now, soon as he dips, Lala come peek like, he left? I'm like, yeah, he left. Now she's going, pasting back and forth. So now I'm sitting there like, Like, she making me want to pay. So she like, she's not picking up. She not picking up. So I'm like, maybe she'll call you back. So now Lala like, oh my God, I need to smoke. So now Lala go in her room, she twist up. She come out, she like, shorty, come on. Cause we couldn't really smoke in the units. So we was always smoking, since our room was all the way in the back, we was smoking in her room. So boom, we smoking, she like, oh my God. So her phone rings. She like, there she go right there. She like, where are you? Right? So basically the girl was downstairs. Her wallet, everything is up here. So in order to get upstairs, you got to show your ID and be able to be signed in. If you cannot show your ID or provide your ID for them, they will turn you around and send you that way. Period. All right, boom. Lala like, yeah, let me go downstairs and get her. So she go downstairs and get her. I'm still in the room. I'm like, all right, let me put the blunt out, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put it out. So boom, I put it out. I go in the living room. So as soon as they come through the door, the stud girl like, I'm finna go. You know, like, I just need to get my stuff, right? So she on the, I need to get my stuff type. So I'm like, all right. So Lala like, no. So Lala grabbing her shirt. She like, let me go. Moving Lala's hand. I'm like, okay. Is this going to be a type of tussle that I need to jump in? Because I'm not trying to jump in nothing. Okay? No joke, put your hands on Lala, but this is y'all affair. My name Bennett, and I ain't in it. Okay? I got nothing to do with this, Stevie, but I know one thing for sure and two things for certain. It look like Shorty is really about to go. So she goes in Lala's room like, where's my clothes? Where's my clothes? So Lala like, in the closet. Yeah, because you didn't want him to know I was here, right? So I'm like, oh, whoa. Oh, but hold on. In the beginning, you knew that dude was coming. She felt comfortable to tell you, obviously, about the dude. The dude just don't know about you. So we see where your position at, where your disposition at. You feel me? So boom. She goes, she grabs her stuff, and she comes out. Her bag is open. Her clothes is halfway out. So she like, please don't go. Lala telling her, like, please don't go. So Lala grab her. And now Lala got the bag. So they going back and forth, like, tussling the bag. I'm like, all right, so they having a moment. This is what I decided to do. Why they having an argument? Instead of making the executive decision on my own, this is what I did. I said, hey, y'all want me to go? Lala like, no, Shorty, you good, Shorty. She like, go in the room so we can talk. So they steady going. I'm like, hey, y'all, just chill. You know what I'm saying? Just chill. So she like, I don't want to talk. She like, just go in the room. Let's just talk. And if you want to go, you could go. Boom, they go in the room. As they go in the room, it was at first, it was, and then it's kind of slowed down, right? So I'm like, all right, they're probably cool. So then I hear back knocking the boots, but not as loud, but you can hear a little bit of scuffling, a little bit of, I'm like, all right, they doing it like, I'm finna dope, right? So I dips right upstairs to Mia, knocks on the door. Now, Mia is a heavy sleeper, so I'm she like, I'm coming. She opened up the door. I'm like, hey, Mia. She like, hey. I'm like, can I spend a night? She like, yeah, you can spend a night. She like, I'm going to have to get you a key made. Now, when she come to the door, she had like, her hair was like all over the place. Her scarf was half off. She had a little slob here. So I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, I don't need no key. She like, nah, because you can't be waking me up out my sleep. So, boom, I go in the room. I knock, you know what I'm saying? I'm texting, I knocks out, right? As I'm knocked out, I hear a lot of bit of like a lot of moving. So I'm like, what is that? I'm not a heavy sleeper. I'm like, what is that, right? So I gets up, I hear the shower water running. So I'm like, okay, who's in the shower? Because I hear a noise coming from the, like, in the front room area. Now, it was the front room, then it was the kitchen. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's Mia, and she just got the shower water running. So I walked that way. I hear Sleepy whispering on the phone. Like, yeah, nah, she in the shower. She normally be keeping the money up here in this jar. So I'm just leaning back on the wall, just listening to him talk. So I'm like, so he like, oh, I found it. He like, she had it under this. So whatever she had it in the cabinet under something. So he like, yeah, I'm gonna be over there that way right now. He like, I'm still gonna ask her, can I borrow some money? So I'm just sitting there like, straight user, bro. I'm just sitting there like, he comes out the kitchen and turn this way. He sees me. He like, oh, what's up? I'm like, what's up? He like, oh, I didn't know you was here. I'm like, yeah, I spent the night. I'm like, what you got? He like, oh, I ain't got nothing. I'm like, you ain't got nothing? So Mia comes out the bathroom with a towel wrapped around her. So she like, oh, you woke? I'm like, come here. She like, I'm not dressed. I'm like, come here. I said, go check and see if your money's still there. So he like, his lazy ass, sleepy lazy ass. He like, hey, stay out of grown folks' business. I say, I'm grown, right? I ain't that grown. I'm up there. Like I ain't really up there. I'm a teen, but get out your business. I'm playing big boy role right now. So she like, I'm like, check to see where you be putting your money at, wherever you had it at, is it still there? So she was like, no. She looked, she like, no, where's my money? I'm like, sleepy, where's Mia money? He like, I don't know. I'm like, when you was just on the phone in the kitchen, said she normally keep it in a jar, somewhere. He's like, no, I didn't take anything. She said, I know how much money I put in my cabinet. She kept saying she knew how much money she put. So she said, both of y'all empty out y'all pockets. I said, okay. So I emptied out my pockets. I'm like, I ain't got no back pockets, so here. So I empty out my pockets, right? Empty out my pockets. He like, I'm not emptying out. He telling her straight up. So I'm like, come on, man, empty out your pockets if you ain't got nothing. So she like, empty out your pockets. So he emptied out the pockets, had her whole night. She like, So she goes in the kitchen and open up the drawer and grab. Now you got to remember, this lady on disability, bro. She not thinking like a average 35 or 36, however old she was. She was up there. She wasn't on her age level. She grabbed a knife, bro. He like, all right. He like, yeah. Like, yeah. She like, give me my money. Kicked him out, right? So I say, Mia, stop being cool with him. Stop being nice. She like, I just be being nice on him so I could be able to smoke. I know he liked me, but I'm like, he just using you. He know he can get over on you. I'm like, he don't like you for real, right? So after that, me and her, we really, really had a bond. So I was pretty much, anytime I was over there, I was always spending the night. I always knew, and now I got a key now. I always knew that I could go and spend the night at Mia's house. So boom, it's time for me to go to Tracy crib. Go to Tracy crib. I'm like, hey, I missed you. She like, I missed you too. So she was a little sad. I'm like, what's wrong with you? She like, nothing. I'm like, nothing? She like, nothing. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I got something for you. She like, what you got for me? I'm like, I'll give it to you later, right? I'm like, she like, no, give it to me now. Give it to me now. I'm like, all right, close your eyes. So she closed her eyes, and I put the ring in the bag and everything right in her hand. So she opened it. Oh my God. She put the ring on her. I'm like, no, well, it's a promise. I'm telling her, like, it's a promise ring. She said, so what you promise? I said, I promise to always be there. Like, you know, I'm always like, no matter what happened, I'm like, you can always hit me up and I'm always be there for you. We can always be friends. So she's like, all right, that's cool. So now we just having a really good day. So now Tracy was real happy about the ring. So she in the kitchen, I go in the kitchen to grab some drink, Mary and her. So Mary was like, oh, that's a, you know, like telling her that's a nice ring. So she was like, oh yeah, thank you, you know what I'm saying? She's saying that I got it for her. Woo. So Tracy was so happy, but Mary was looking at me cutting the eye like they was both faced like this, but Mary was just looking at me. So I grabbed my juice, I dip, and I goes back in the room. So I'm like, I wanted to do something nice for Mary too. You know what I'm saying? So I went and I went to go get her a teddy bear. I went to go get her like chocolates, flowers, and I put it in the back, like on the back area, like by the back door. So I come back in. So Tracy's like, where you just coming from? I'm like, oh, I just came from getting some more swishes. She's like, I already got some. I'm like, yeah, well, we got more. We can never have too much. Now I got to play the game as smooth as possible. All right, boom. So Q comes in. He like, you was at the building, now you here? He like, do you want my room? Like, he just always was messing with me. He was never really kind to me. So I ain't say nothing to him. I just kept on going. So boom, Tracy goes in the room. I tell her to roll up. I go in Mary's room. I'm like, hey. She like, what you want? I'm like, what I want? She like, yeah, what you want? She like, I'm on my way out the door. I'm like, well, I got you something. It's outside the back door. She like, what? I'm like, go look. So she goes look. She sees it's a teddy bear. She was happy. So as I'm standing right there in her room doorway. I'm in her room doorway. Tracy comes out her room and sees Mary coming from the back. So Tracy like, who gave you that? And so Mary like, oh, my boyfriend. Straight like that. So she was like, your boyfriend? She like, when you get a boyfriend? So now they just talking. So I'm just like, I hear them talking. I'm like, okay, I'm going back. I didn't even want to hear, you know, it was like that moment. I didn't even want to hear the conversation. So I hurried up. I go back in Tracy's room. Boom. Mary dips. I don't know where Mary going. She comes in. Just said like, hey, I'm leaving. Woo. She dips. Mary gone. So I'm like, where's she going? I couldn't even really finish enjoying my day because I wanted to know where she was going. So I tell Tracy like, hey, I'm finna go spend the night at Mia's house. She like, why you don't spend the night with me no more? I was really just trying not to be on that with her no more because I really low key was really feeling Mary. Like I was feeling her a lot. So I just really didn't want to keep on doing that. So she was like, I really miss you holding me, cuddling with me. She like, and I miss us doing it early in the mornings. Like, so we just was talking. So I'm like, I spend the night with you tomorrow. She like, all right, cool. Now I goes to Mia crib. I go to Mia crib. I'm there. I'm chilling. So now that I'm free, I'm hitting Mary up. Where are you? She's not picking up. So I'm getting heated. So I go downstairs, knock on Lala door. The girl's still there. The stud girl's still there. I'm like, hey, Mary been here? So Lala like, no, I haven't saw her. I'm like, she probably at her baby daddy house. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's where she probably at. I'm like, you're probably right. She like, let me see. Lala so thorough because she don't know what's going on. She picks up. She picks up her phone. She calls Mary straight up. Mary picks up. She like, hey, where you at? She was like, oh, I'm at my baby daddy mama house. He got drunk again, passed out on the street and all this. And she was worried and, you know, my kids over here. So I'm coming over here to get my kids, but he here and he won't let me leave. So I'm like, I wanted to say something so bad, but I had to play it cool. So I look at her, I'm like, so she like, you good, shorty? You want to hit the blunt? I'm like, no, I'm straight. I'm finna go kick it with Mia. So now I'm feeling away. So I'm finna be on, you doing you? Now I should do me. I'm finna do me. So I'm in my phone now, and I'm hitting up the chicks that I just ain't been talking to, that I've been dodging. So now my phone back juking. Like, you didn't see me calling you? I'm heated. So boom, she finally calls me back. So I'm like, what? So she like, okay, do I need to hang up and call again? I'm like, no, what you want? She like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, nothing. I've been calling trying to reach you. She like, I'm sorry. She tells me the same thing she tells Lala. So it ain't like she lied. So I was just like, so why you going over there and why you being in his face? So she like, I'm not being in his face. So she like, look, I don't want you mad. So I'm like, man, click, I'll hang up on her. She comes knocking on the door, on Mia's door. So Mia like, hold on, I'm coming. Who is it? I don't even know that Mary is coming. Man, Mia opened the door and she was like, hold on, and left Mary out there. So she was like, basically telling me that Mary was out there. So I'm like, let her in. She like, okay, I'll let her in, but she can't spend a night. I'm like, okay, like, ain't nobody trying to spend a night. So boom, Mary comes in, we go in the room. So she like, don't act like this. I'm like, don't act like what? She like, don't act like this. I'm like, you telling me? I'm like, first, now here's the deal. I was around Mary. I was around her kids. Her son loved me. So it's just more like, we was really when I was around her, she was a vibe. But I didn't like the fact that it seemed like every time I turned, your past was popping in. It was your baby daddy. Then it was Fish. Then it was you sitting on the twins' lap like, dang. Like, god dang, how many more blows you want me to take before I say, hold on, wait a minute, stop the press. Is this legs for the community? So she's talking to me and she like, okay, it won't happen again. She like, I won't go over there no more. Moving forward, he had to drop them off or she got to drop them off. I said, no, I don't want that. I said, but if he getting drunk or whatever the case may be, you shouldn't be in his face. So she was like, I understand that he want me back. I'm like, I know he wants you back. So now we're kind of raising our voice. So Mia like, hey, like, cause you couldn't be that loud in there. You get any complaints or anything, they will find you. So Mia telling us like, hey, y'all, like, y'all too loud. So boom, she ends up mad, storming out, leaving. I don't care. So we ain't talked for a couple of days. I'm chilling at Mia crib the whole time though. Me and Mary ain't talking a couple of days. I can't talk to Tracy. So boom, Tracy, cause Tracy ain't had no phone still. So boom, I get a call on my phone. I see it's Mary. So I'm like, yeah, like I thought. You know what I'm saying? Like I already had missed her, but it's like you low key did wrong. You need to be calling me. So I'm like, what's up? And I was finna say, what's up, bae? But I'm like, what's up? She like, hey, what you doing? I'm like, Tracy? She like, yeah, what you doing? I'm like, oh, nothing, just chilling. She like, okay, I'm gonna have some plan for you in a couple of days. I'm like, all right, cool. She like, you didn't come. Now, I didn't mind you. I supposed to came and saw Tracy that next day, but I didn't because I was so mad. I just stayed and kicked it and had it out at Mia's spot. So she was like, make sure you come and woo. I'm like, all right, cool. So I was upset. Boom. I end up going out and I went to the jewelry spot. I went to a jewelry spot. I was going to store to store, just trying to clear my mind. So I was going in the stores and I saw this jewelry spot and I saw this ring. And I was like, dang, this ring is beautiful. It was beautiful. And I was like, and it was like, it wasn't large and it definitely wasn't small. It was like, it was a little bit more, almost a medium, not a full medium yet. So I'm like, man, I like this ring. So I was like, how much is this ring? Now I was getting paid from helping Lala out a lot. Mia was throwing me money. Mary was throwing me money. So I was always having money. Tracy was throwing, I was always having money and I really wasn't spending it because everybody was pretty much spoiling me. So boom, I end up like, how much this ring? So it's like, oh, you know what? It's on sale. He like, just give me $400. I'm like, that's it, $400? All right, cool. I said, you got a nice case, right? Like, make it look good. He give me a nice little case. So boom, I end up seeing Mary, right? I'm over there at Tracy crib. Tracy wasn't there. I talked to Mary. Boom. I'm like, hey, I got something for you. So she's like, oh my God, it's pretty. I'm like, all right. I'm like, don't put it on a wedding finger. I'm like, put it right here. She's like, but I want, all right, well, let me put it on this side then. So she put it on the opposite side. So I'm like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, I promise never to do that again. So she like, come here. So I'm like, all right. So now we hugging in her room. I'm like, Tracy might pop in. She like, she not. So she kissing me, everything. I'm getting aroused. It's just one of those moments. We kind of do it a little bit, but we didn't finish because we was so paranoid that Tracy was coming. So boom. Now I goes in the kitchen. Mary's in the kitchen doing dishes. Tracy comes in and she's sitting there rinsing out her cup. And so we get ready to make some drinks. So Tracy looks and she say, Mary, that's a nice ring. And she say, it looks like mine. So I happened to glance like, but Mary's was like more of a doper version, but smaller. So I'm like, I am so slow. I basically got them the same ring. And so she said, it looks like mine. She said, oh yeah, I bought it for myself. She say, oh, yeah, it look just like mine. She like, yeah, hopefully my boo, he bought me one. And I'm like sitting there in shock. They had the same ring on. It was like, how did I do that?